Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with Me, and what we're going to do today is use some Amazon packaging, and we're going to make some different size envelopes for our journals out of the Amazon packaging. Now I've got some cut. I think this is 6 by 6. This may be 4 by 4. This is 3 by 3, 6 by 6. I have some 5.5 by 5.5. I just cut some different sizes for what paper that I had. And I know most everybody gets something from Amazon, so if you do, then save that packaging because you can make beautiful envelopes out of it. I need some, or I want some for my journals coming up, so I'm just going to make a few of these. Now, you do need to make sure that your piece is square. I find it much easier. Other people can make them out of a piece of paper that is not exactly square, and they seem to do fine with it. Mine needs to be square for me to get mine folded the right way. There are other ways to do this. You know, a lot of people have the envelope punch board, things like that, templates. I don't have, so we're going to be using this. What I do is I turn mine where I have a corner here, a corner here. I put my ruler on it, and I'm going to mark the center. Now, I'm using a Tim Holtz ruler. It's very easy to mark that center. And all I do is make sure that I got a little crosshatch there. I mark where the 0 is, and then I mark that way too. So I just make sure that it's in the center. Now, these are going to be my sides, I guess, since I marked it that way. So I am going to start with the sides and fold them in. And what you want to do is fold to that mark that you made. See that little cross hatch right there? We want to fold to that, but just a tiny bit past it, because you want to have enough here that you can glue. So just a little bit past it. Not much, just a fraction. But just make sure that your point is going right to that point that you just marked there. Okay, and you're going to fold that down. So you've got something that looks like this. Already looks like an envelope, doesn't it? Now, I take the bottom portion and I fold it up, and all I do is make sure that this bottom is going to cover all of this right here, because that's where I'm going to glue. And then I just check to make sure that my little point is lined up with that. That looks pretty good. And then fold it down. Like that. There's the bottom. And if you don't want this little point, just trim it off. Go straight across. That's all you have to do. Okay. So we've got that. And now we're going to fold down the top. Now on the top, all you need to do is make sure that it comes down low enough to go over this little V right here. You want it to go over that V. And then keep your little point lined up with the center of your envelope. If you need to do some markings on yours when you first make one of these, then just go ahead and do it. I did plenty of markings. Okay. And then I just look at it, and to me this looks like it's a little bit out of whack, so I just fold it again, and there we go. Now I open it back up. Right here in the corners, I want to cut that little fold out where I folded it one way and then the other. Cut that out because it'll make for a much neater fold. If I can get my scissors to cooperate with me. Or my hand, I should say. It's not my scissors' fault. My hands are shaking. Okay, see, I cut that out, those out. Now you can round these if you want. Just take that little point off. You can do whatever you want there. I usually don't fool with these because they don't show. The ones up here at the top, I do. Now, I don't have a lot of little piece to cut out there at the top, but I'm just going to trim a tiny bit out. See what I did? Just a little bit, and then I'm rounding it off. Just round it out like that. See, I think you can see it. Let's see. Let's put something under it. Maybe you can. Well, can't see it that way, can you? There you go. You can see it that way. Just that little bit of a, looks like a V. Now you can tell which one's the bottom by this little piece that you cut off here, so you shouldn't have any trouble with that. And then I take the top and I go ahead and round that like that. Okay, you're going to fold your sides in, this side in, that side in. Just make sure that your creases are creased down real well. See, where is my, there we go, my bone folder. And then you're going to put some glue right here. Whoops. Try to run it straight if you can. If your hand's not shaking like mine, you probably can. And then just make sure that that glue doesn't seep out. And then it stays under there and your envelope is closed. And there you go. There is your little envelope. Quick and easy. I love these. And then if you want to put some kind of other paper, or if you want to put a little flower and a butterfly, or if you want to stain it, ink it, whatever you want to do, just go ahead and do that because they're absolutely adorable. Let's see, what shall we put on this one? I think I'll look for a little flower in here, or even a little mushroom would be cute. I've got some small flowers, they would work. Okay, I think I'll put that down on there. And it is gonna, this backing is gonna show white, but I'll show you what we're gonna do to it. Cover it up a little bit. Now this is a little long, so what I'm gonna do is start it right there, and then I'm just gonna run it down like that. Now you can press that in some, but with that brown backing, you're not going to be able to do a lot for it. So this is what we're going to do. You can leave it like that if that doesn't bother you. Leave it like that. It doesn't really bother me, but I'll just show you how you can correct that. Make it look a little bit more like it's part of the envelope. I'm going to go ahead and ink this first. All right, take your blending tool and just lightly touch that white, just to tone it down a little bit. Don't touch it hard, just very lightly. And it will tone it down, and then there is your flower. And if you feel like you've got too much on it, just rub a little bit of it off. Let's put something else over here. Maybe a Tim Holtz something. I used to make all of my own envelopes all the time, and then I got away from it. And now I'm ready to get back to making them. And you know, you guys know how much I use the envelopes. I think I know what I want on here. And I may put it on the top actually. Okay, I think I'm going to put that stamp on there, and then let's see, maybe just a word across here. Well, I'm not liking that stamp now. I think what we'll do is we'll put part of that stamp there and then part of it somewhere else maybe. There we are. I'm going to go ahead and put a little ink on that, to just a tiny bit, just around the edges, because it is pretty white. I want it to look a little bit more distressed. Okay. So there's our little envelope. Now we could put, well, that wouldn't look right, I don't think. We could put a little label up here too, but I think I'm going to leave that one until I start to use it in my journal, and then I'll decide if I want to put anything there. I may leave it open, so I may put something here if I leave it open. So I'm going to leave that one like it is for now. But there is one. Let's go ahead and make a tiny one. This is going to be one of those little tiny ones. And I get some of these tiny ones every now and then in Happy Mail, but I'm going to show you how you can make your own. Alright, I'm just lining that up as best centered as I can. Oops. Come on now. Get right on the points. There we go. And then I'll just do a little cross hatch there. So there's the cross. Now, if you want to make these out of regular paper, you can. You don't have to use Amazon packaging. I just had it laying here, and I thought, why not use it? You can make it out of just regular paper. You can make it out of pattern paper, but when you start to make these out of pattern paper, you're going to have to watch your directional paper if it's, you know, got a direction to it. It's got a pattern on it. You're going to need to watch and see which way you need to fold it. You can do it, you just have to watch it a little bit. Okay, so there's that one. Let's go ahead and fold this top down. Right, and I'm just going to open it up, and again, I'm going to cut these little corners out just where I crossed over with my, I guess you could call it a score line. And do that on all sides. Okay. Okay, I'm going to cut just a tiny. Now, instead of cutting that, if you want to, you can round it. Let's just round this one and see. Ooh, that didn't want to round. Some of the paper is thinner than other ones. This one looks like it's pretty thin. Don't know if it's going to punch or not. Yeah, it doesn't want to, so we'll just round it with our scissors. Okay. So then we'll put a little glue right down through here. A little glue right down through there. I put a lot of glue. We don't want to close our envelope, so let's wipe some of that off. And then go ahead and close that down. And then you've got your little envelope. Now mine looks a little bit out of sorts. I may have cut my paper a little bit crooked. I think I did. But we're just going to leave it because guess what? I'll use it. I will definitely use it. Okay, I'm just going to lay that one there for now. And go ahead and see the paper is really crinkled if you get the paper in like I do. So it's a little bit hard to cut and get exact, but it doesn't have to be exact, does it? Don't have to be perfect. Okay. Looks good right there. And see, this looks longer to me than the sides, so I don't know. This one may turn out a little whopper job too, but you know what? I will still use it. I'll decorate it up and I'll still use it. Remember, we're just crossing over a tiny, tiny bit on those sides. Just a little bit. And then the bottom, you just want to bring it up until it covers the sides.
There we go. And then
we'll bring that top down. I'm going to bring this one down a little bit more, I think. I'm trying to look at it and see, since this top looks like it's cut a little crooked. I'm just going to bring this down a little bit more. See if that works. See if that'll even it out. I think it will. Alright, we'll go ahead and cut out our little corners. Just like we did before. Got those cut out, and see that just looks a little off, so I'm going to go ahead and trim right here just a little bit. Okay, we're going to go ahead and glue this down. And then I've just got a tiny little tip right there, and I'm just going to take my scissors and nip it off. And then I think, let me grab my bigger scissors. I'm going to have to cut this side off because it's bugging me. Let me just trim it back a little bit. There we go. Maybe. I don't know if I made it better or worse, but we'll see. Okay, that will work. It's not perfect, but it'll work. But we don't need perfect, do we? Now, I'm just going to do a little bitty nip on this one. Well, that wasn't even a nip. Yeah, it just doesn't want, this is so thin, this paper. It just doesn't want to do. Okay, so there is another cute little envelope. Now, we'll go ahead and show you just how you can make one out of some regular, this is 6x6 paper. Pretty simple. You may be able to see this a lot better too on camera. Let's see. Make sure you get your center as centered as possible. That makes the difference in how it folds. There we go. Our little crosshatch. I'm calling it a crosshatch. It's just a little half of a crosshatch, I think. Right, you want to point that little point in the middle. Now, hopefully this paper is cut straight because I didn't cut it. So it may be cut straight since I didn't cut it. It looks pretty straight. Okay, we're going to fold this up. This is the bottom. You want to fold it up just until you know for sure that you've got these sides covered. There you go. Got the bottom. And then the top, just fold it down until it comes over the bottom part. This is a pretty thick paper, so let me get this fold in here. And you can use your bone folder and your tool and fold it that way if you want to. Just folding it freehand there. See? That makes for a good envelope. Isn't that cute? And then again, you're going to open it back up and just cut out your little corners. And you can round them out. You can cut them at an angle. You can do lots of different things. Just make it like you want it to look. Because, you know, envelopes, some of them are rounded right here. Some of them are cut at a square. Doesn't matter as long as you get that little bit cut out. Just so it folds a lot better. There we go. Right, there is your envelope. What you have to do now is glue it together. Now you could make these and not glue them together. Leave them where they would open in your journal, and then you could have journaling space on the inside if you want to do that. Doesn't matter. That one doesn't even have enough of a little nib up there to worry about, so I'm not going to worry about that. Alright. Fold this top part down well. And there is our envelope. Quick and easy. Isn't that cute? Now, we're going to try to make a teeny tiny one. I don't know how this, my big fingers, I don't know how this will work, but we're going to try it. Now, some people can just fold and fold and they make them perfect without having to do any measurements. I have to find my center before I can do that. I can't fold it without it. So let's see. Looks like it's going to be about right there, best I can tell. It's hard to write with an eraser end of your pencil, isn't it? Okay, we're going to start on this side. Just pull that over there, fold it. This is going to be so little. It's going to be cute though. Alright, fold that one over. Look at this. This is cute. But it's hard for my big fingers to do. Alright, fold that up. Alright, it looks like I might have this one cut a little bit off too, so I'm just going to adjust it. Yeah, that's better. Okay, fold the bottom up if I can. And then we'll fold the top over. And there we go. Teeny tiny little envelope. We'll just cut those corners out. And you see how much better it makes it look when you trim those corners out. And that's what your envelope punch board does. Is when you push it down and it cuts that corner out right there. But you can do it just as well like this with your scissors. Okay. Now I'll tell you another secret while I'm doing this, and it's not a secret, but it works. I used to do it a long time ago. Cut this one out so I can concentrate. When you get an envelope made, and let's just use, well, we can't use that one because I glued it. We'll use this one. When you get an envelope made and it's made the size that you think you're going to use a lot of, go ahead and get a piece of chipboard and cut that chipboard the exact size of the inside of your envelope. So you could lay your chipboard in here and just trim around it and cut the chipboard this size right here from every fold. Then all you have to do is lay that piece of chipboard. Let's just pretend this is the chipboard. Lay the piece of chipboard down on your piece. So we don't have another small piece, but let's pretend that this is a little small piece. Lay your chipboard down there in the center. Just center it up. And then just start folding your pieces around it. And it'll fold right up and it'll be the exact size that you need. Or that you're working with every time. There again, that's kind of what the envelope punch board does. Let's see. That was my bottom, that's my top. Okay. But I like making them like this. I mean, I think Melina or somebody's got an envelope punch board I could probably get, but to me, this is fun, just making little envelopes like that. And see, if you've got a piece like this and you need to make sure that your writing goes the right way, you're going to have to fold it to where your writing, and I don't have this cut, but just fold it where your writing is the best way up that it can be. It's not going to be perfect, but, you know, you're not going to see that much of your writing anyway. You're not going to see a lot of it. Most of it's going to be on the back side. Unless you turn your envelope around, and you can definitely do that. But you can see now, and I can go ahead and decorate these. And I probably will. But this is just some that I have made just in the last little bit. You can also, and I didn't make this one, but let's see, who made this one? This came from Triple V Vintage. You can use the big, large doilies and make envelopes out of those as well if you want to. This one I think was made by Katie. So, and then, well, I think that's all I've got. But as you can see, it's pretty easy. Just grab either your scraps grab your Amazon packaging and then just cut it into squares and start making envelopes. Now, if you want one that's long like this, then you wouldn't start out with a square. You would start out with a different size. And I haven't made one like that, so I don't know what size that would be. But you would not start out with a square. When you start out with a square, your envelope's going to be square. So if you start out with a rectangle, then your envelope's going to be rectangle. So just keep that in mind. I like the little square envelopes. I like rectangle envelopes, but right now I'm not making rectangle envelopes because I hadn't got that worked out in my head yet. But you can see these are cute. I will definitely be using them in my journals. And it's just something that you can do, something different, something new. Well, it's not new, it's been around forever, but just something that you can do to make little envelopes for yourself, and you don't have to buy little envelopes or wait on junk mail or anything like that. You've got your envelopes ready to go. And I've got 3 more here that I'm going to make. Now, I think I'm going to try to make one out of this. I don't want to cut it down, it's so pretty. But I think I'll cut it down and make an envelope out of this. I don't know. You'll see it at the end of the video if I do. I'm not real fond of cutting that down. I don't really want to. So, but I've just got this paper, and this is just some 6x6 paper pad that we got a partial of a long time ago in a kit, and it makes really good envelopes. So, alright guys, that is all I think I'm going to do on this video. I just wanted to drop in and show you. I was making some anyway. I thought I'll turn the camera on. Somebody else might want to know how to do this. But that's how I do mine. If you have an envelope punch board, go for it. Use it. This paper is pretty thin, so I don't know how it would work in the envelope punch board, but you can try it anyway. Now I'm going to decorate these up, and then you'll see them at the end of the video, so you can take a closer look at those. And that is it. I think we will talk to you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Bye-bye.